Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Way Love Goes podcast. We're going to get into all things good today. It's a juicy topic today, you guys. Talking about cheater, pumpkin eaters.
uh,
yeah, my thing is
Pumpkin
frozen.
eating
You want to
might
get
be
hang in?
part of it.
I froze.
You're frozen right now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's I was trying to play the thing, but it's
Yeah.
not. Okay, you guys, we're about to start in
Sorry.
just a second. Here we go.
Yeah. Hey. I'm by myself. Tierra is gone. She will be back. But hello. How are you doing out there, public people? Now we're both here. She's magically
It's
here.
crazy because gotta love it. Welcome you guys back to another episode of the Way Love Goes podcast. I am one of your co-hosts from the East Coast, Tierra Monique, and I am here with my brother from another mother,
The West Coast buddy Dondeez.
Dondeez. And if you don't know, we are now on Facebook Live. So
Hey.
we're on Facebook and we're on YouTube across the pond and
Moving on up.
Facebook. Trying to get more people to come on and join and find out how the Way Love goes. So that's that. And I upgraded our subscription. So we are now a
We're moving
paid
on up,
subscriber to
y'all.
StreamYard, but I still have I don't know why.
They're like, we ain't paying for your internet though. That's you.
Right.
That's what they're saying.
So I don't know. So
help
we
us,
just
guys.
basically, eliminated that whole idea because at first we were like they just want us to upgrade.
Yeah.
But
I do see some stronger signals every once in a while. It'll flash up.
Do you?
It's like, okay. Maybe we gotta warm them up, Maybe we gotta warm them up a little bit.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. But anyway, you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you again for coming on. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the Way Love Goes podcast. You can also find us on Instagram at the Way Love Goes pod, and you can find us on Facebook now at the Way Love Goes podcast, and you can send us a email if you're a typer. You like the emails. You can send us an email at thewaylovegoespod@gmail.com.
And I had somebody ask me this week.
So let's go ahead and get into this check-in. What's going on with you?
They asked if they could send in topic suggestions. I was like, yeah, bring it on. We'll hit what you want us to hit.
Absolutely. Yes.
Sorry, what were you saying?
About in areas of relationships.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. Is there a delay?
Yeah. We always got that delay to work out.
No.
So
I was just saying yes. Go ahead. Yeah, come.
This upgrade, bro.
It's weird. It doesn't make
this upgrade sense. We're still having the same issues. So
it's so crazy.
Come on, guys.
Yeah,
we're seeing, and we put you on a month by month basis and see.
It's weird. All right. Right. I don't know. Might have to move away from Cox and go back to Verizon. So, yeah. So, what's going on with you this week? What's been going on with you?
You know what? I tell you, something that usually probably doesn't excite everybody, but excites me all the time when I finish my sermon for worship early. I love that because I could actually do other things in the week. But people, they would never know that because they think pastors just be chilling all day, just sipping margaritas and watching TV. No, we do more. So anyhow, that was like the exciting thing for me. Hopefully, Tierra Monique gets back in here, and she'll be excited as well. And yeah, hopefully everything's good. So yeah, that was it. Basically, just got work done earlier than I usually do, and it's getting closer to the holidays, so I like that. That's my thing. That's my thing.
Well, that's good. Can you see me now?
Mm-hmm.
Am I there?
You're
Am I
there.
alive? Am I
You're
well?
alive. Yes,
Am I among
indeed.
the living?
Praise his name.
All right, do it again.
All right.
Let's reverse.
So
Let's flip it
basically,
and reverse it.
yeah. Um, yeah. So basically, I just was saying how I am excited that I finished my sermon for Sabbath. It's like it's done. Was done earlier in the week. People usually don't get excited about that, but if you're a pastor, you know getting that message done is like such a load off your chest. It's chest. It's like if you were. It's like back when you were in school and you had to write a paper. Imagine if you had to write a paper every single week,
Right.
and you cannot.
Right.
There's like you can't be like, oh, I ain't got it this week, dog. No, no, that don't work. So if you haven't finished it, you like have to drop everything until it's done. It will consume your life. So I love when I can always finish those things early and then get to doing other stuff in the week. So that was my luxury this week. Finished it early.
Right. Oh yeah, I understand that. I was, I think I was thinking about that earlier today, like how hard it is to be a pastor. A pastor, but
Mm.
I was listening to this pastor on radio on my way to drop my son off to school,
Mm-hmm.
and they were talking, and he was something, I can't remember what they were talking about, but he was just saying, as he was talking, they were talking about all the many things that was going on with the church, and of course,
Mm-hmm.
many people who volunteer the church help run things smoothly, but the amount of, I would say, versatility on a pastor, I think, is a lot.
Yeah.
If you don't have, especially if you don't have a lot of volunteers to help, it's like
Right.
the
Right.
pastor is outside in he's the welcome team, he's the janitor, he's the
All right, y'all. I gotta
he's
go
the
preach. I'll be right back.
he's the
Hey, everybody.
he the
Let me play this
choir,
organ real quick.
he's the pianist,
Yeah.
he's a counselor.
God is good. Wednesday. I'll talk to you on Wednesday.
Be wearing more hats than
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
He the audio man.
Yeah. I did have a friend who did have to
So
do all
yeah,
that stuff
love
one
it.
time.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Yeah, it's kind of yeah. Okay. That's cool. I'm so glad you are ahead of the game and relax for Sabbath. So that's awesome. With
No.
going on with me, I am going to my first ever ball. Like I've never been to a ball before,
Oh.
and yeah. So I was invited by, well, because I was in the leadership academy with my job. My foreman, she sends out like all these different volunteer opportunities, or anytime there's free tickets somewhere. So yeah, she sent
Mm.
out that free tickets Yeah, I
Oh,
want to go.
yes.
I mean, I think it's a really good because you can network, you can be, in the atmosphere of other successful people and people who are probably doing something that you want to do, even though it's not a content creator type of ball, but it's a ball and you just don't know who you're going to meet. I mean, it's like a melting pot of people who you can meet. You just never know. And I think it's always good just to get your name out there, strike up conversation, and just put your face out there because people they're not going to know who you are if you're always in the house. So I'm excited about that. So I got to go out and buy me a dress today. Go out and find me a nice dress. And it's a good season because it's time everybody's having Christmas, so there's a lot of sparkly stuff out there. So I'm excited. And I'm going solo dolo. So I don't have a +1. But hey, maybe I'll meet my future +1 at the ball.
Yeah. And it'll possibly be a great leader. You dig? Maybe they went to a leadership academy as well. And y'all can lead together.
Maybe.
You never know. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's good. So happy.
Yeah, maybe my Prince Charming will upgrade my internet system.
Hey. Praise his name.
I hate this for us.
Cox, man. Don't get it, guys. That's a sponsorship we will not be getting. Yeah.
Not today, say. Okay. All right. Let's get into the podcast. Let's go ahead and first let me say hi. Hi, Carol. Thank you for being our faithful, loyal supporter of
Yes.
You are a friend of the pod, Carol. Thank you for being on here with us. So don't forget to tell your friends and everybody else about us too, so they can go ahead and get on in the conversation. All right, so let's go get into what we're talking about today. Okay.
Wait, before we do, one thing.
Okay, gotcha.
We gotta remind everybody that we'll be taking a 2-week break. Or is it 2 week or 3 week? Anyway, we'll be back in January. This is the last one for the year, and then we'll be back in January. I forgot to spread that gospel around. So just to let everybody know, we're not abandoning you. We're just, off for the holidays. You can watch old episodes on the YouTube channel and go to Anchor, check those out. You got to catch up. This is the perfect time to do your catch up. So then you'll be in on all our inside jokes. You'll know them. You'll know them. So you'll be good. You'll know who forgot what was his name. Aaron and I don't know. Top tier or various tiers of you'll know all the stuff. So yeah. You'll know.
Oh, okay. I just got a text message that my ex-husband is in the chat while he's watching. So, hi, ex-husband.
Hey, what's good? What's good?
Right.
Welcome.
I talked to him about this episode, and I told him if he wanted to come on, let me know. But he said he all right. He's okay. But because this topic is very very close to me. So
right.
So I'm not laughing.
I can't wait to see what comments.
I'm just laughing at whatever.
That's an awkward laugh.
Yeah, it's very awkward. It's very awkward for me. Okay, yeah. So yes, this is our make sure you all binge watch, go all the way back because we have many episodes, and you can also find us on Anchor. You're on Anchor and on Spotify because we have been doing this for a whole year. So yay! You don't have any What is it? What is
I
it?
know, man. We did this upgrade. They should give us some sound, like some sounds or something.
They
The
might, but
sound
I have
pack.
not been in. I didn't log on
We
early
got to
enough
explore that. We
to
got to
find out.
explore that. Right.
Right. I think this is him. I think that's my ex-husband. Hello, Crypto
Right.
Neo.
Right.
That might be. Not throwing y'all folks under the bus. No, no. But yeah, well, we've been doing this for a year, you guys. So our anniversary
Yeah.
was actually November the 12th.
12. Yeah.
And we just stopped. We didn't think about it. And
Because
but
we
yeah,
was
so
just
we've been doing this for a
grinding.
year. So yeah, we're just going. We're just going. So yeah, so go back and binge watch all of our stuff. All right.
Yeah.
Now let's get to the pod.
Let's get it. Let's
Let's
get
get to
it.
the potatoes of today's podcast. Once a
Yeah.
cheater, always a cheater. Is this true? Is this a true statement? Is once a cheater, always a cheater? What say you, my sir, my friend?
Um. No, I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say so,
Okay.
unless there is more involved than just your mind. Like if there's, how do you say that? Like if there is like if there's a disorder, or if there is something going on within you chemically, uh, mentally, I don't know what there. It's just other than just you being in your right mind. If it's just
Mm-hmm.
you on your own faculties, I think it does. The
Right.
answer could be no. If there's more going on, especially since the stuff that we read, the articles that we read, there could be more
Right.
going on. Yeah, yeah. It's possible,
Right.
but
Right. Right.
you could still
Yeah.
deal with
Yeah.
it. You can find ways to deal with it. But
Right.
overall, I'd say nah.
So okay. I second that. I second that emotion. Yes. So I don't think once a cheater, always a cheater. If this person like did like one time,
Mm-hmm.
like I was a cheater. I cheated on my ex-husband in our marriage, but I haven't cheated since then. But then again, I haven't really been in a relationship either. So so the jury is out. No, seriously, I don't think I would cheat again.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've grown from it and I've learned so much about myself, and I've actually done the work on myself to find out what the real problem was, because I learned that um I wasn't just cheating on a marriage or my ex-husband. I was actually cheating on myself by not figuring out, what was really wrong. So like I think cheating is like an scapegoat from not really facing yourself or facing what's really going on, or not really
Mm-hmm.
wanting to face the issues that you have in your relationship, because whatever reason you want to avoid, you want to keep the, so in your head it's like, I think it's like an insane way to think that you want to keep the peace by not saying nothing and then going talking to someone else about it, knowing that that's not, especially internally, because you're always wondering if you're going to get caught. And now
Mm-hmm.
you really disrupt the peace inside yourself, and you disrupt the peace in your marriage, because some of the things that are going to start taking place when you start to cheat, because your spouse is going to start to notice, or your partner is going to start to notice the things that you are doing that you didn't used to do. So
Right.
you're not helping anybody by using this as a way of cheating. So the reason why we
Mm-hmm.
decided to talk about this today, because if you all have been sleeping under a rock, and you don't know, oh, look at Carol.
I know.
Uh, some on GMA, Good Morning America 3, like they have a third hour, and there are two hosts, Stay Holmes and Amy Robach. They was in an affair, or they've been having an affair for like I think 6 months. And that's not the issue. The issue is that apparently TJ Holmes allegedly say what was out here in these internet streets is stating that he
Internet
also cheated on
sheets.
his wife with producer. Right, internet sheets. Yes, internet sheets. He also cheated on his wife with the producer of the show before he cheated on his wife with the news anchor. And also
Next is the production
the
assistant,
right, right. The producer was
then the
also
CEO.
allegedly
Yeah.
the baby of his child, which is crazy. And his current wife was the mistress when he was married to his first wife. So it's like there's like
This
this like
this is its own show.
it's a lot. It's a whole lot. So again, there is no judgment on my part and the podcast part. There is no judgment on this man, but we asked the question: is once a cheater, always a cheater? If he cheated on his first wife to be with his second wife, and now he's cheating on his second wife with his coworkers, and so we asked: is once a cheater, always a cheater? So,
I hope so. I hope he did, Carol. I hope he did.
I
At
mean, it's a lot
least.
of STDs going on. I mean, you really got to think about it. It's like, what is going on? So, D, you had a question that you wanted to ask. Can you be mad if you get cheated on?
Yeah, like if you are a person that cheats, I mean, yes, you can, but should you really be mad? Right? Like for example, there's Shaquille O'Neal. Anytime anybody talks about cheating and infidelity, his first statement that he always says is, "I'm not going to speak on that because I was a person who did it as well." So he's not even a part of the situation, but he
Mm-hmm.
already takes that position for himself. He's like, as somebody who did it, I'm not going to speak on it. Definitely not going to put any kind of judgment on it. But if he's taking that position, then I'm wondering, okay, that makes sense. If you are in a relationship and you cheated, say, yeah, like so in this situation, you were the mistress of this man TJ, and now he did it again on you. Can you really be mad, or can you be like, guess he got me? Good one, TJ. Or what's the deal? Like really what's going on? So that's that. I put that out to everybody. I put that out there.
So, can she be mad? I think
Mm-hmm.
that she could be mad
Mm-hmm.
in her mind because she may feel like this is a new marriage. And sometimes the other woman can feel like he won't do that to me because
Mercy.
I am me. And whatever I bring to the table is different. Because I had the same mind involved with my youngest son's father.
Mm-hmm.
And for the life of me, I was like, oh, there's no way that he's gonna be, what he's done to her. And that with regards to like the whole situation with his children. But
Mm-hmm.
still, you have this thing in your head as the new woman or the new person in their life that whoever you are is going to basically magically make them change their
Mm-hmm.
ways, when in actuality that it has nothing to do with you. Like, you can't make someone not cheat on you because it has everything to do with the person inside and what they choose to do. It doesn't matter what you do. You can be their yes person, you can buy them everything in the world. If they want to step out on you, they will step out on you. It doesn't matter how beautiful you are. It doesn't matter how much money you have. I mean, look, we've seen so many celebrities who have been cheated on, and so many people go, "Oh, I can't believe they got cheated on." Why not? Because beauty does not stop cheating.
Right.
Halle Berry got cheated on. Beyonce
I know
got
that
cheated
was the first
on.
one that I was like,
Reese Neal.
Holly Berry. But they be getting these
That's because
dudes
that's because
that
we
have extra
equate.
confidence.
Yeah.
You know, like shoot, I pulled them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Right. Right. Because we equate beauty or good looks or money to stability or security. Like,
mm,
because they are this or they are that, or the status that they have, gives them security in the area of relationships to the point where they don't have to worry about, being cheated on. So
yeah.
we can go ahead and let you all know that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Absolutely not. So there's an article. There is a very famous psychotherapist that I follow who I love, and I was just listening to. I was watching a YouTube that she did with Chris years ago, 5 years ago, and she did an article. Her name is Esther Perel, called "The Cheaters Cheat." Esther Perel wants you to rethink marriage and infidelity,
Mm,
right? And so you wrote down some things that you saw the um from the argument, right? So from the article, what did you
yeah.
find from the article?
This this was a very interesting stretch of the mind for me. Um, her main, I'll tell you what, I'll kind of lay out her main argument, and then we could talk about like some of the points in there. So the article asked this question was basically like, um, is America asking, is or in America is marriage asking too much of people? And the psychotherapist Esther Perel was like, yes, it is. So her main argument was, um, well, her the suggestion that she puts forth is for everybody is to rethink infidelity and marriage itself. She says long-term monogamy can offer us some wonderful things, but we also have to remember that this is a social, economic, and political structure that brought the current expectations that we feel
Right.
about the marriage agreement now. So she says because it was less defined by nature and more defined by cultural expectations. What has happened now in society is that those expectations are heavier and heavier than they were in historically. So you get all these inflated hopes
Right.
that everything that you can take care of or everything that's required within a marriage used to be able to you would be able to supplement that with other institutions like your church or your community. But because there's so many things that are a part of this expectation, that something is bound to fall short. Right. So that's like the premise for what she's saying. And she's saying that cheating is a not like inevitable, but it is a very likely part or aspect of the relationship that could be soon to follow because of the structure that exists right now with all these expectations in marriage. So that was kind of like her main thing. If I could
Right.
even summarize it more, she's basically saying marriage is expecting one person to do all this stuff, and it's not really possible. And so because of that, I'll give you
Right.
some reasons, but cheating is what's going to follow. That's kind of like her real, without all the extras
Right.
in it. That's kind of where it is. Um, yeah, yeah. So then there's just little points that we could talk about from the article.
Right.
Um, yeah, yeah.
Right. So what I thought was really good was that, and here's the thing about Esther Perel. If you watch her on a YouTube or if you read an article, you're gonna see the same thing.
Mm,
Because everything that she talks about is all based on like, I think she's done like over 20 years, or maybe more of research based on her own clients that she sees. And she wrote a book called The State of Affairs, which is really good. I've read a snippet of it. And she said something that was really good. And she said monogamy has nothing to do with love. I thought that was very, very, very important to stress, because a lot of people think that if you love me, you won't cheat on me. And so if you think that monogamy has everything to do with love, then you will fall into the, I can't believe this person did this to me if they love me. And I like wrote down that song Love Should Have Brought You Home Last Night by Toni Braxton, because we think, like from the movie Boomerang, because we think that if somebody loves me, there's no way they could do any of these things to me. There's no way they can want to be with someone else. There's no way they can think about somebody else. There's no way they can want to cheat on me. There's no way they would do this to me. And to me, I think that these two things can exist at the same time. I think that somebody can say they love you and really mean they love you, but their actions, but they can also have a desire to be with someone else sexually. And she had said, and I wrote this down, that what is she? Hold on, you guys. Hold on. I wrote it down, but she was like that I'm sorry. I wrote it down in the docket. I thought I wrote it down on my paper. But she said that people feel entitled to happiness and to pursue their desires. And that's why they end up cheating. So if I'm married or am I in a relationship and I feel unhappy, then I feel that I am entitled to that happiness. So I must find it elsewhere. So I don't really find it here with you. I'm going to keep you because everything else is good, but you're not meeting this one thing that I need in my life. So because I feel like I am entitled to have this in my life, I'm going to go find it with someone else, but I'm going to still keep you. But I'm going to find it with someone else. And I thought that was very important to point out, that it all starts with our selfishness, because cheating is selfish. Cheating is a very selfish thing to do. And feeling entitled is very selfish as well, because we think too much highly of ourselves. And we're thinking about ourselves because we're not thinking about the other person. What do you think about that?
Yeah. I think there is a trick with the words.
Okay.
Monogamy has nothing to do with love. When you use like these superlative things, that kind of takes the idea in one direction or another. Everything to do with love, nothing to do with love, those kind of things. I think it gives a false understanding of the concept, because I think monogamy actually does have a lot to do with love. I think it's part of the result of somebody deciding to make this commitment, right? You could say, okay, yeah, this was a decision. This is a commitment that you've made, kind of like a business decision or whatever. But you decide which person you're going to do that with based on other connections that you have. When you have that, I didn't decide this person or this person. I picked this person. Why did I pick this person? Is because I have made connections that would draw me to be with this person, and I think that love has a lot to do with that. Honestly, for me, if I was with somebody and they try to give me that explanation about love doesn't have anything to do with it, or I cheat on you, that I love you, that is like the last thing that I would want to hear from them. I'd be like, dude, you are losing me right now with this argument. you are explaining many different things that more sound like you trying to put yourself in some like an acceptable light. Um, and it is very hard for me to accept that, and I know that particularly for me, because this was something that happened in my family, that I probably have a stronger feeling about it than maybe others who either it hasn't happened to them, or they have it from more of a peripheral standpoint. But yeah, I when I listen to like a lot of the stuff in this article, it leaves me scratching my head a lot. I'm like, yeah, that is like somebody kind of going based off. Well, I guess the interest of it is, science has the observability to like see things that happen and then try to make sense of it, versus putting forth like a suggested better standard of something. So I know, for me, I don't really buy into much of what this lady is saying. I look at it like, yeah, that sounds like you trying to justify something as opposed to what really it is.
Well, I don't think that she, like, because I watched a lot of her things, and so I can see that based on what she said, that she's not ever said that she was for cheating or that she was
Hmm.
for people like doing these things. She's coming from a psychotherapy standpoint of what it looks like to be a cheater and what drives people to cheat, and
Hmm.
how we as a culture have focused so much on the word wrong instead of focusing on what is it that is causing me to be hurtful towards you. It's like getting to the root of it all. And so
Hmm.
I agree with a lot of the things she says, because when she said monogamy has nothing to do with love, I think she's coming from the point of that you can love a lot of people and not choose to be monogamous with them. You know, I can love a lot of
Yeah,
people and
but
not choose to
it's a
be, and not
different
choose to
kind of
only choose
love.
you to do life with.
Yeah, because
Huh?
it's a different kind of love. It's not the same kind of love.
No, no, no. No, not I love my friend. I'm saying like there's a difference between, there's a lot of people who can marry someone, right? And not marry them out of being in love with them. People can marry you
Right,
because
right.
I choose to do life with
But
you.
that's
Like you,
yeah.
like
So
you, I
I
can
agree
see.
with that. I would agree with that, but I would say, yeah, that's not love. That you're not Love is not part of that. But what I'm saying is when they're trying to
Right.
say that love is what that love is a that you are with somebody because you love them, that is its own thing. That's not, um like, because I guess my question is always, the probing thing is, when somebody makes the argument of, I love you, yet I can do this, and I'm trying to say, like, I really have a hard
Right.
time seeing that. So I can understand that she's like this, what she's saying is very descriptive in terms of, like, I'm describing the behavior, and it's like, oh yeah, okay, I can see that. But I would take that out of the love discussion. That's like just a behavioral, you know look at this. So that's my challenge is always going to be like, okay, well, if you're not marrying for love, then yeah, I could definitely see how this whole thing makes perfect sense. But when you put love into that, then that's where I'm trying to understand it, because it seems, it's hard for me to buy what that.
Okay. Let's move on. So we agree to disagree on
Hmm.
that aspect of that. But oh yeah, so my analogy though with that was the fact that we, as if you come from a faith-based point, in Christianity, we all say that we love God, but we sin. And so that's how I look at that. How I can say that I love God, but I still cheat on God when I gossip, when I have sex outside of marriage, when I commit adultery, when I murder and lie and steal and cheat. And I still say I love it because it is in my nature to still sin, so I still sin. So that's why that is my analogy of as far as how you can say I love you and still cheat on you, because I think two of those things can happen, but the way you choose to interact and participate in that relationship is hurtful to the other person. So if you don't want to choose to be monogamous, then you shouldn't be with that person. There's something else going on within you. But I do, because of my own personal experience, I do think that you can say I love a person and still cheat on them, because it has nothing to do with the other person. Like you saying that you cheating on a person has nothing to do with them, it has everything to do with you. Me saying I love God and then still going to do something else has nothing to do with God, but it has everything to do with me. That's why I said what I said with that. So let's move on. So the next one was, you had wrote down that marriage oh marriage had spent most of its existence in the West and elsewhere as primarily an economic arrangement. Did you want to talk
Yeah.
about that?
Uh, yeah. Well, what I can see from that is, like for example, you have things like, okay, here's a kingdom and here's a kingdom, and we're trying to form an alliance. So the way we connect is, I got a son who's a prince, you got a daughter who's a princess. We're going to get them married, and that's our nations working together. Or I got a business here, you got a business here. How do we keep the money within our reach and power? Let's get our kids married. We keep the family businesses going, merging, things like that. Or, just on the level of the family structure being like when people had farms, for example, and they would get married and they'd have a lot of kids, but it wasn't because like they just wanted to have this big family or anything. It's more like, okay, well, we need to help continue our family business. We need help on this farm. We need to be able to do these kind of things. So a lot of those arrangements were driven by the economic portion of it. We have to make a living. It's going to be much more of a struggle if we do this. If I were to do this on my own, or the woman was able to, or was trying to make a living on their own. So we're going to join our powers and abilities together, and we're going to try to make this happen in that way. And then the bigger form of economics in terms of like, just the things that you need to kind of exist in life, your companionship, your health and well-being, all of these things that social interaction brings about. Those are things that you're like, okay, well, I need people around, I need this. So in this sense, we're going to form this union so that we can kind of like help each other live in life. So yeah, less that, like those things are less romantic,
Right.
and more just practical reasons. So yeah, that's what I think, that's what that point was talking about.
Right. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Because I think people still get married. There's still arranged marriages today. Like
Yeah.
people get married in order to keep the legacy going, the family,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
like arranged marriages overseas or whatever. Um, yeah. So um, there was something that I thought was really good. That she said that the longer you're married, you're going to go through 2 to 3 marriages together.
Mm.
That basically the way your marriage started is not how your marriage is going to continue to go. Like you're going to see different stages of your marriage. It's going to change. As long as you continue to stay together. When you're together, you're going to see your marriage change, and you may go. I never heard somebody say that before. There's going to be 2 or 3 different types of marriages during the whole time of your marriage, based on where you are in life and how you both grow and evolve. Because of that, don't be afraid of the changes that happen in your marriage. I think it's about changing your perspective. Like, don't think that just because the way we started out, it's going to be like that the whole time. Like, you need to expect the unexpected, in a sense that your partner's going to change, you're going to change. And if you're going in with unrealistic expectations that things are going to always be the same, and because that need is not met, then you choose to cheat, then you choose to go ahead and step out of your marriage. It's like you are stopping what could be in your marriage, or you're stopping what could be in your relationship, because you haven't allowed your relationship to organically evolve the way it should,
Yeah.
So it's like, don't be surprised when your marriage looks different from the way, or your relationship looks different from the way it does in the beginning to now.
Yeah. What is Sean has this thing about a list? What did we say something about a list before?
List? We didn't have.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what list he was talking about.
I don't think so.
Yeah. If you got a list, let us know. We can talk about your list.
You mean like the why people?
I don't know. Sean, tell us what you were talking about.
You mean a list why people cheat?
Oh. Yeah,
maybe some key points. Is that maybe talking about? People cheat because maybe this list right here. I'll say people don't cheat because they feel confined in their marriage. They cheat because they want more of what marriage offers. That's what I just said. That was what I just said. You said some lady had a list and you were going to read it. A lady had a list. Oh.
Okay.
Maybe. Don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know what I said. I know it must have gotten said because Sean don't forget nothing.
I know. I probably said something. I was like, oh, I probably get into all that later.
Yeah.
Maybe I did, but we haven't gotten to that point yet, Sean. And the way we started in the beginning, it's not how. Oh, you said it after the prayer.
After the prayer?
He was talking about yeah, I don't know. I wasn't on the prayer today, so I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. We're just going through everything this lady said right now. And yeah, we're just chopping it up. We're just chopping it up. So I guess everything that the points of her arguments. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So Carol makes a good point. Once folks get comfortable, you see the layers peel off, folks start leaving dirty clothes around, passing gas, and expect you to kiss morning breath. Hey, that's what all comes with the territory of being married in relationships, Carol. Your breath is not always going to be fresh every day. And your breath is not fresh. No, nobody's breath is that fresh when they wake up in the morning. Morning breath is real. Okay. I think all those things, like, bad morning breath, or somebody leaving clothes on the ground or something like that, those are all the things that you are basically going to have to just look over when you have decided to commit over in the aspect that you don't mention. There's always a good way to say to someone, hey, I don't like it when you leave your clothes like right here next to the hammer. or I want to be honest with you. I love you, but your breath is not that, it's like your breath needs more than a.
You gotta do something in the morning.
Like, maybe you should go to the dentist. Right. Maybe you need to go to the dentist because you may have an infection somewhere and you're not sure. I mean, because to be honest, there are some things about us that our partner may not like. And, you
Yeah.
know, it's all good to go ahead and just have those conversations and be
I like
love your partner enough to improve.
I like this point.
Oh, yes, that's true.
Um, it's what
Mm-hmm.
you know how I
Yeah.
think that that kind of relates to something I was thinking about when I was reading this article, because one thing that the lady was describing was how in a relationship you have all these expectations, and so then you get married, and then these all these expectations aren't met, so then that's why somebody will go out and cheat. And what I would say is, before, just like your mom is saying, before you get into the marriage, that's when you start exploring what the person can or can't do for you, or what their expectations are, or those kind of things. I know, like, one thing that I'll do with couples when they want to do premarital counseling is go I have this list. It's like a worksheet, and it's a list of all these expectations that are, like, I don't know, maybe like the 25 most common expectations that people think about marriage. And then we'll just go through, and I'll like read it off, and then we'll discuss it to see what do they think about it. So something like, our love will always stay the same, it's never going to change. And then we'll talk about it. Do you guys agree with that?
Mm.
Do you think that it's interesting, because you'll get people to have these discussions, and then they haven't even had the discussion before, so they don't even know, like, oh yeah, I do think it will always stay the same, and the partner will be like, what? That's impossible. Like, people change. It's never gonna. And then they have to go, whoa, then what does it mean to be in love, or what does this part mean? That,
Right.
so those are definitely those discussions that people have to have ahead of time, because if they have the different mindset going into their marriage, or into their relationship, even not even marriage, just a serious relationship, and then those changes start happening, or whatnot, then that can also be one of these triggers that make them either want to reconsider their commitment that they've made, or try to do something extra, outside of the commitment too. So yeah, that was a good point, because I was thinking that while I was reading the article. It says, yeah, a lot of this work that seems to be taking place after the commitment is made, probably we should get to a practice of researching these things prior to, just like that clip that you sent.
Right.
That who was that? Creflo. He was like, he just went off on that list of all the questions
Yeah,
that you need to ask.
you did. You did.
More and more, more and more. That may not have been needed historically, because of how the arrangements and the understandings went, but in modern society, more and more, those
Mm-hmm.
definitely need to be worked out. Maybe strategically, you
Yes.
could do them in blocks, because that might be a lot for a first date. But you know, two or three at a time, and have some good discussion on
Well,
it. That'd probably be good. Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I mean, like he said, if you don't know a person before you get married, then why are you marrying them? I mean, you're never going to know a
Mm,
person 100% because we're always growing. But if you don't know the basics, the fundamentals of a person before you get
yeah.
married, you should not marry. Like he said, like if you're if y'all never had an argument, you go, oh, we don't never argue. Well, then you haven't seen a real person, because you have done something to that person, or you have said something that really didn't sit well with them. Like, it really got up on their skin, but they're probably a people pleaser, and they don't want to, break up whatever harmonious fantasy they may have in their head regarding being in a relationship with you. So, y'all need to have little disagreements. It don't have to be no drag out fights, but it needs to,
Right, right.
y'all need to have some kind of a opinion somewhere so y'all can figure out how to navigate through those things so that you won't be holding it all in and then go and tell somebody else your problems and then you end up having emotions. What I learned is that always a sexual act.
Mm,
You can cheat on emotionally. You can cheat on them. You can neglect the person. So it doesn't have to always. Cheating is not always a sexual thing. You can spend more
right.
time with another person than you do with your own spouse or your own relationship. So that can definitely be a thing.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right. So what? Let me go back to man. I don't know what it's doing. Yes. Okay. So next on here, she said that it's not so much that when it comes to cheating, it's not so much that you want to leave the other person that you're with to be with somebody else, is that you want to leave the person that you've become. So sometimes you've gone complacent in your own life
Mm-hmm.
and you get to a point where you don't like the person. It sure do. It don't like me. My internet do not want me to be great. It does not want me to be great today. It does not like me. I'm gonna have to call the internet company and say, I mean, seriously, I've moved my location. Like I'm not even in my where I was
Where I
last week. I
usually
moved
be.
into my bedroom to be closer. Yeah, I'm
Closer
close
to
to
the
the
little
internet connection. I'm
tower.
close to the modem. And it still is like, nope,
It's
nope,
still
we're not
playing
gonna
with
let you
you,
do it.
man.
But
They
yeah,
don't want to
so
commit.
um it just it don't want to, it's cheating on with somebody else.
Come on,
It's giving the
internet.
power and the strength to my neighbors.
Sheesh.
I know. So what I was
Yeah.
saying was that you may be with someone else because of who you've become in your own relationship. And instead of facing who you are and figure out how you can change it, you go and try to be with someone else thinking that the grass is greener on the other side and that whatever you're trying to you're gonna find it somewhere else. When in actuality, it's that you need to find it within yourself. Because no one can make you be happy. If that's what you're looking
Right.
for, no one's gonna make you be happy. You have to find happiness within yourself. So if you're thinking that you're gonna be happy somewhere else, that's not true because you need to be happy within yourself first. And that's
Right. Right.
what I got from that part.
I wanted to pose a
Did
question too.
did you have any else? We got go ahead.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you know how so I think most people agree that fundamentally who somebody is, that's that's what you get to learn before you decide you want to be in a, okay, I want to be committed to this person because I know fundamentally who they are. When this article is talking about change, do you think they're talking about fundamental change or something different? And if it is something different, then does the fundamental change, or does the fundamental, or like the foundation of who the person is that, should that still be enough for you to
Mm-hmm.
say, yeah, no, this is the person that I committed to? This, they're still there, even though there, some things are changing about them. Or you think it's one and the same? As you change fundamentally,
Right.
everything changes altogether.
No. Mm-mm. I think what you said, the first part is should be true, is the fact that the fundamental part of you should still be the same. Like if you are at the core of who you are, your authentic self, if you are a nice, caring, kind person, if you're an encourager, those things should always remain the same, right? It's just
Hmm.
how you then choose to express those things about you So like in one season you may um be an encourager at, as far as like expressing with your words. Another way you may do it through gift giving or whatever. I think that
Mm-hmm.
it's that you choose to change how you express who you are in different ways, but you're still who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think that, person who is fun and happy, and then next thing you know, now they're just grumpy and they're a Grinch. Obviously something's
Mm-hmm.
wrong. Like something happened to put them there, but at the core of them, something that this person is a nice person. And if you really are committed to this person, I think that you should be always trying to get back to that person. Like, okay, recognize, like you say, like if you for some reason if you don't see it or whatever, it's like sitting down with that person and saying, hey, you know what, I've noticed that you're not yourself. It's like that Snickers commercial, and it's like, hey,
Yeah.
something's not right with you. Are you hungry? Here's a Snickers. It's like, wait a minute. It's like, okay, I know who you are. I know the person that I married, right? I know the foundation of who you are. I know at the core of
Yeah.
who you are. And something is getting in the way of you showing up as yourself, as your 100% authentic self every day, you know?
Yeah. So
So
it's almost
I
like the
think that,
fundamental aspects of a person are like the measuring stick, and when there's a change, you can be like, huh, what something is going on. You're not yourself as you usually are. Let's explore what's going on, because who I fundamentally know you to be
mhm,
is you're not being that way right now. So that means that's probably an indicator that something is going on that's affecting that part of or that aspect of what's going of who you are at the moment.
right,
Yeah, I like how mom's saying it right here. This is good. This is good. Yeah. So those are kind of like what sort of like what I see in that is it's like there is a I guess what Esther Perel lays out is the situation, and
mhm,
then each couple decide, or
right,
actually really each individual decides how they are going to respond to when that situation presents itself. So that's kind of what we have to think
right,
about in terms of moving forward. Yeah.
right, right. So let's go ahead and ask this question. Can a cheater
Mm,
be reformed? So that's all a part of Can a Cheater Be a Cheater? So there's an article that
mm,
we found called Serial Cheaters, Compulsive Cheating and Signs and Treatments Options. So at recovery.org. So on recovery.org, they have an actual section that says that cheating can be an addiction. Um, However, they do link that to sexual addiction.
mm,
So from their perspective, it goes hand in hand. I therapist. I did not go to school for it, but I do think that I don't think all cheating has everything to do with sex. I do think
yeah.
that there are a lot of people who cheat for attention. They're not being seen. They're not feeling appreciated, and instead of expressing that to their partner, or their spouse or husband or wife, they end up going seeking that attention from someone else. That was my aunt. I didn't cheat to have sex. I
Yeah.
cheated because I I wanted to be. I felt unseen. I felt unheard, and I wanted. And instead of telling my husband that, I told somebody else that, which turned into an emotional affair. And and then it turned into sex. But I don't think that cheating is always having to do with sex. Now, someone who is a habitual cheater, like someone who's constantly cheating, I think that too. I think that can also too be a thing where it has nothing to do with sex, but sex can be a what is it what is the word? Sex can be, it can lead to sex, like it can end up going to sex, like
Yeah.
the attention that you seek is the gateway to the sex, you know.
Hmm.
But they have a thing where they said that serial cheaters or compulsive cheating, there are signs and warning tips. It says that many men and women go years without knowing that their partners or significant others have cheated until they see the affair firsthand. Now, here's a question that we didn't talk about, and when I was talking about this topic with someone, the guy said that, you know, the first thing he doesn't, whenever starts talking to somebody like dating, he never asks if they ever cheated. He doesn't ever bring that up. But
Mm.
should you be asking someone, have you ever cheated? Because I'm thinking that it doesn't mean that you think by asking a question, it doesn't mean that you feel like they're gonna do it again, but it does open the conversation to know if they did in their past, they learned from it. Because if they didn't learn from it, then maybe they'll do it again.
Right, right. Yeah, probably as you, I mean, that may be a thing that you feel that you got to feel out when to have that discussion, you know. That may be something that once you're like kind of starting to talk about marriage and that kind of thing, then you may want to, that may be the time when you want to get to those kind of things, because it's more of like a core uh yeah, it's like a core value, or it's getting to the core of somebody, you know. I forgot when was it that we were talking about. I don't know if it was. I think it was the discussion of green flags or one of those things. I can't remember exactly what it was, but we were talking about when you're getting to know your partner, um, and they're talking about past relationships. Do they are they balanced in their thinking? Do they see where they could have made changes or mistakes, or every time they talk about a past relationship, is it always it was the other person's fault, or even, and it was, and it's not even necessarily if it was romantic, it could be friendships that went south. Is it the friend's fault versus do they see their own balance in it? So yeah, that's kind of like one of those goals or one of those aims that you can think about when it comes to, you know, if that discussion on cheating is like, okay, yeah, well, what do you think about that? Did you think it was wrong? Did you feel like you were driven to that, or did you feel like it was you could not deny yourself because it would be a betrayal to you? Like, where is their mind when it comes to those kind of things? That would, for me, that would be the purpose of having that kind of discussion. I don't think you should just ask it just because you're curious. I think you got to have a bigger purpose behind it, because if you don't have a bigger purpose behind it, that is going to bring up some tension that's really maybe not even need to be, that may not even need to be introduced to the relationship. But if you have a purpose behind it, then it's like, okay, well, I can see why we're talking about this. This is going to hopefully be something that builds our relationship up through this discussion.
Okay. Yeah, she put, do you think they will prejudge you right off? Some people will prejudge you right
Mm.
off because some people actually think once a cheater, always a cheater. And it could be based on their own experiences. For me, I tell people I like to have that conversation while I'm getting to know you guys, because I want to know where your headspace is, and I want to know if you do feel once a cheater, always a cheater. Because if we get really serious and then I tell you then that I cheated, then you're like, oh, then you may not want to be with me no more, and I don't wasted all this time with you, and
Investing in
that
them,
is
yeah.
your mindset. Right, I'm investing in you, and you don't even want to be with me because of that one thing. Um,
Mm.
and then also know the other person's mindset, because there are people out here who don't think there's anything wrong with cheating. Like, they're like, oh, it is what it is. Look, I remember growing up in my like at like 18, 19, this one guy I used to know, he used to say all the time, eating ain't cheating.
Mm.
So I mean, if that's the mindset that was going on back in 2001, and it's now 2022, you just never know how people think. People can think that they can go out and have an oral sex exchange with somebody and that they didn't do anything wrong, or or they just had a conversation with someone over a lot of times. Like some people may think that having friends of the opposite sex that you always go out with all the time and never tell your spouse that, that's not cheating. I think cheating. If I think
Mm.
any secret that you choose to withhold from your significant other, you are now cheating on them, because cheating lies with secrets. Like they are hand in hand. They go hand in hand. Because if
Mm.
that wasn't the case, then we're in a relationship. Because no, because then that's a different dynamic.
Yeah.
But it's to each his own. But I know I like to know it. I like to know right up front. I'm gonna ask you on the first day, hey, did you cheat? I think as the conversation goes, I'm like, oh, so I would ask them how are they in their relationships, and ask them questions like that, like how are you in your relationships, like how was your last relationship, was there ever any
Mhm.
infidelity on your part or their part, and then once I find that out, even if they said they never did, I said okay, I said, well, because people are always going to want to know why the marriage ended or why the relationship ended. And
Mhm.
I think a mature adult would have learned from their mistakes,
Yeah.
um to be able to go into something new. You know what I'm saying? Because like if you're getting involved with someone who hasn't learned anything from it, then they're gonna probably gonna do it again to you, maybe. So
Yeah.
here are some warning signs, you guys, of someone who is possibly cheating on you. Or here are some warning signs that you may be cheating and not realize is what you're doing. Okay. There's changes in their appearance. If they used to be gruffy gruff, bearded up all the time, don't care what happened, and now they making sure they clean shaven and smelling real good before they go to the gym. I mean, what's wrong? I mean, something's not right. There's changes in their work
He's like, you about
responsibilities.
to
All of a
sweat,
sudden
bro.
they
Yeah.
got to work all the time. Right. Let's see. There are changes in their work responsibilities. So like oh, I think there's a delay. Okay. I'm back. There's changes in their work responsibilities. They now have to work a lot. All of a sudden there's a lot of business trips. There's always some kind of project or whatever. And then didn't used to be that way. And they didn't get promoted, because usually with promotion comes more responsibility. They're still at the same level, and now all of a sudden they have all this work to do. Um, they're engaging in secretive behaviors, like having secret lunches and secret conversations, like their phone with them, always keeping their phone on silent, or vibrate. I'm speaking from experience, you guys. These are things that I did. Okay, I'm not proud of it, but I used to always keep my phone on silent. I used to always keep it close to me. I would take it with me everywhere I go, in the bathroom. I mean, everywhere. I didn't want to ever leave my phone where where that phone call, that text message can come through and you can read it. Okay. Um, just always doing secret conversations. Oh yeah, you get a call and you always have to go outside to take the call. You have to always leave the room to have this phone call. Not good. Um,
I remember that.
y'all are now having a lot of arguments. Like arguments are always, yeah. Celebrate why Diane. Yep, I remember that too. But yeah, so you're always having arguments now. You're picking, like they're picking at you all the time. Like, where's this coming from? Like, what's going on with you? It could be something going on at work. Like they could, like, be stressed out or whatever, or it could be somebody else. Because sometimes you'll pick a fight so I can be mad at you, so I can feel justified in cheating. I can be justified in going to do what I do because now I'm arguing with you, and so now I make myself feel, upset towards you, so I can go and cheat. Okay. There's legacy at home. Let me tell you this. This is 100% truth, and you can take this to the bank and cash it in, okay, with my name on it. When a person becomes physically involved with another person, they will feel like they're cheating on the person they're cheating with if they have sex with their own spouse. I lie to you not, because that is how I felt, and that's how people feel. They feel like if I have sex with you, my partner, I'm now cheating on the person, my side chick or my side dude. And so then they'll start having less to see with you. They'll stop being physically involved with you. They'll remove themselves. They'll detach themselves emotionally from you because they feel like they need to give all of this, they need themselves to this other person. They start investing too much into it. If it goes from a one night stand to just something that's constantly happening, then that is what you're going to notice. So compulsive cheaters will go to great lengths that behavior from a partner. The Journal of Marital said that more than 50% of both men and women admitted to cheating in previous relationships. So if more than 50% of people have admitted to cheating in previous relationships, y'all need to be having that conversation. Have the conversation.
It's be like,
because people
yeah,
out
the
here
journal
cheating.
said. I'm just doing this for reference, guys.
14% of married women. Oh, yes. Okay. So 14% of married women and 22% of men cheated while married, and those affairs lasted an average of 2 years. And our example was the alleged cheating that TJ Holmes did with, with that affair lasted for 3 years. And especially when it's somebody you work, because there's rarely any kind of passing of that person and your spouse. So then it says more than 30% of those affairs were with coworkers. So if y'all didn't catch that live that we did with the Just Therapy podcast, about how people are having these work husbands and work wives, and that's where it happens. It starts there. Like they start having, oh, that's my work husband, oh, that's my work wife, and they know they're having a whole affair. Yep, that's what we were talking about. That he also had an affair with the producer. And we're not pushing judgment on you. We're just saying that is what's being said. It says repeat cheaters may be prone to infidelity because of an addiction to sex. So that's what I was saying, that the article had said that they do they align sexual addiction with compulsive cheaters.
They kind of lean heavy on that.
They engage in very
I said they kind of lean really heavy on the sex addiction thing. It's like, okay, this sounds more like y'all are trying to sell your cheater therapy center. This sounds more like an ad than an article.
Yes, because every time I went on the website, it would pop up and say, "Do you need help? Call us." So, I mean, they had some good tips in there, but of course, I think at the core of it, they want to help people because it's just crazy. But yes, did y'all answer if a cheater can change? Not yet. We're getting there. All right. So, we talked about that people cheat, how they start to cheat, what can cause people to cheat. Um, People can actually be addicted to cheating per
Hmm.
recovery.org. And we did talk about the warning sign of cheaters and what it could be. So we can go ahead and answer the question. Okay. Is once a cheater always a cheater? Can a
Nah.
cheater be reformed? What say you
Yeah.
first?
Yeah, I think it's possible for sure.
Mm-hmm. Me too. I think that a cheater can't do. He's are y'all on the same podcast? Yes, we are. Um, I think that cheaters can be reformed. I think that they have to take the necessary steps to get there, though.
Yeah.
You can't say, um, you can't say I won't do it again, and then you don't think, and then you don't take the necessary steps. Like there has to be an action plan. Um,
Yeah.
and I think the person who was cheated on has to give the what's this has to give their spouse or their partner a chance to actually work on those things. Um, but I will say that once you ask for forgiveness, you have to learn that forgiveness takes time as far as in a mind thing, because you can say it out your mouth right away, yes, I forgive you, but then it takes work every day to do it. You know, it's like
Hmm.
you have to choose every day to and to allow the relationship to heal and to work on things. You can go to together, um, and you can, and the other person should. I think there should be couples therapy and there should be individual therapy, because the person who was cheated on has to work through their own insecurities now. There could be thoughts going on in their head like, okay, am I enough? If am I enough? Because the way we think about cheating, we always think that cheating has something to do with, but it doesn't. It has something to do with the person who is who cheated. They have other issues going on with them that cause them to cheat. So just don't cheat. Yes, just don't cheat. That sounds easy. It sounds easy. Just don't cheat. Just don't do it, right? That sounds easy. But it's not that easy if you have not worked on yourself. That's how I feel. What do you think? Do you think just don't cheat is easy?
No, I don't think it's. I mean, it's just don't do anything is not easy. Like every wrong thing that can be done is hard not to do because it's usually easier to do something that is wrong because it doesn't take any discipline. It doesn't take any control. Like you could just do it. You know, it's easier to do the things that are, more damaging because they're just, you don't have to have the thoughts, you don't have to do the work, you don't have to have the responsibility. So saying just don't cheat or just don't, fill in the blank is is probably not um, too realistic. I think you can make the resolve within your mind to say I'm not going to XYZ, and then you work to make that your reality.
Right.
Yeah, I would agree with that, Sean.
Because
If you get to
it
the
does
point where you,
take
sorry, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
no, I'm sorry. I had a delay. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no,
I had a delay.
I'm agreeing with Sean's statement. If you get to the point where you feel like you really want to cheat, then you've got a crossroads to say, right? You got to have the conversation with your possibly like, yo, I'm getting to the point where this is getting tough to stay, or if you resolve that you're gonna cheat, then like that's what I actually have had that conversation with my wife before, and I was like, look, please do not disrespect me by cheating on me. I would rather you tell me it's not working out and end our relationship and then go do what you got to do than to just go and do what you got to do. Because one of them, to me, you're adding now in a layer of disrespect, and that is like double hurt. You know, I would much rather somebody tell me, this is not working. We need to cut this off before they go and do their other thing.
Exactly. I 100% agree. I think there should be an open door policy to be able to come and talk and have those honest conversations with your partner. Because I think when you say, "Look, I've been thinking about cheating on you because this is how I've been feeling in this relationship," and then of course the other person hearing that is like, "What you want to do? What?" That's going to be like a. It's not going to be like a, "Oh, for real, really?" No, it's going to be like a what? What? But
Right.
it's like it's saying, look, I don't want to cheat on you, but I've been thinking about it, and I think we need to get some help. We need some help because I don't want to cheat on you. Because I don't think many people want to do it. They just choose to do it without really trying to figure out how not to do it. It's like
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
it's that
It's a
thing.
challenge. Yeah.
So yeah, is that yeah. So do you have a story for us today?
Yeah, I got one. Proverb 28:18. It says, "The one who lives with integrity will be helped, but one who distorts right and wrong will suddenly fall." The reason why I thought about this one is because I think integrity includes being honest about your feelings, like literally what we were just talking about right now. You can recognize that you are at a point where you want to, you know, explore other things because you're not feeling that your current relationship is fulfilling. But you are the one that has to take the choice when it comes to that. Are you going to step up and say, all right, we need to have a real heart to heart convo about the reality of this relationship? Or are you going to kind of like get yourself to believe that there's some way that you can stay in your relationship and still get these extra things that are outside of the relationship? I feel like the integrity part is you just being real and honest, whatever your situation is, and dealing with it head on versus you trying to tell yourself that there could be a better or other way that would still be okay. So I feel like that's what would help people, hopefully motivate people to make a better decision when they come to those kind of crossroads.
Right. That's good stuff. That's
Mm.
good stuff. So I have that's a wrong quote, you guys. So that's not the right quote. I was trying to type it in there and then it just popped up.
Yeah, we need this 1,000
Now I'll put it
subscribers
in there.
though.
But anyway, here's the quote for the day. Yeah, we need 1,000 subscribers, you guys. But yeah, so here's my quote. An affair simply alerts us to a pre-existing condition, either a troubled relationship or a troubled person. I'm going to say it again. An affair simply alerts us to a pre-existing condition, either a troubled relationship or a troubled person. And that is from,
Mm.
we've been talking about this entire podcast, Esther Perez. I agree with that. I think that an affair does alert that there's something going on in the relationship that you have chosen not to talk about, or there's something going have not that you have chosen not to face. And use another person to mask up that wound that the other person, they can't fix it. they will not be able to fix what's going on in your relationship. They're just only there to perpetuate of now your relationship either ending or you having to work through a lot of time of trying to get your partner or your spouse to trust you again. And you just don't want to get to that point. So it's like it's like preventing having conversations and the right conversation with your partner is preventive maintenance relationship. That's my quote. I just said that just now. You don't preventive maintenance is the conversations, having those conversations and being open enough to hear what your partner has to say about themselves, because sometimes we may walk around thinking that our stuff don't stink and it does, and we need to be able to hear what they say. So thank you guys for joining us on the Way Love Goes podcast. So happy that you are here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe us. Also, don't forget to go to our Instagram, The Way Love Goes Pod. The Way Love Goes Pod at gmail.com. Send in your topics if you want topics. I think we should have a Q&A sometime next year. Don't forget, to ask, to get people, they can ask questions or we can look at Q&A of some sort. And also we're trying to get to the 1,000 subscribers. So please share, comment.
Yeah, man, we got to do that. And we'll be off for the next couple weeks to give you time to catch up on previous podcast episodes.
Yeah. Look, right. Don't forget that we'll be back in January.
Sean.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to get this internet situation hopefully right before the year is over.
We're going to get it together.
But keep subscribing.
He said, not thinking y'all internet. Nope. We not. But keep subscribing. Y'all have a great weekend. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy New Year. And we'll see you next time. Yep. And we'll see you all next time on The Way
Love